5 Awareness Meditation. This is a 30 minutes practice. The intention of this practice is to explore the experiences in the body and in the mind in order to become familiar with their qualities, acknowledging whether they are pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. We also hold the intention of creating a space to develop the skills of acceptance and equanimity. We do this by allowing the experiences to manifest just as they are, without changing anything about them. During this practice, we pay special attention to the sensations in the body induced by these experiences, and we bring into awareness how these experiences may induce reactions such as aversion, attachment, or indifference. We create the space to observe and accept these experiences to the best we can. And we do this with an attitude of non-judging, curiosity, patience, and kindness. We are objective observers of the experiences. And so we begin the practice by finding a comfortable position. Just finding the right balance between comfort and wakefulness. We can start by directing the attention to the sensations of the feet touching the floor, the position of the legs, the weight of the body as we sit, observing the posture of the spine and the head balancing on the neck. And just expanding the field of awareness to include the space of the room, the sounds inside and outside the room. And then slowly and gently narrowing down the field of awareness to observe the sensations in the body that arise with the breath. Where do I feel my breath more easily today? Perhaps just observing the movement of the breath and how dynamic this experience is. Observing the beginning, the middle, and the end of each in-breath and each out-breath. Just arising and passing away, arising and passing away. Knowing that if the mind wanders at any time during this practice, we can always bring back the mind and the attention to the sensations of this breath, anchoring the practice in these sensations. Just observing the natural breath, pure breath. There's no need to control the breath, we are just observing the experiences that arise with the natural breath. With sustained and focused attention, gathering the scattered mind in these sensations of the breath. observing the cycle of the breath, each in-breath and the space in between the in-breath and the out-breath, observing the out-breath and the space in between the out-breath and the in-breath. Just like a gatekeeper, observing each cycle of the breath. Just bringing curiosity and freshness to this experience, noticing every sensation of the breath, observing the location of these sensations of the breath, the length of the sensation, the quality of the sensation. Allowing the breath to be at the center of the attention. And if the mind wanders, just noticing and acknowledging this, and gently just making the breath the center of the attention. Just observing the breath, noticing the impermanent nature of the sensations that arise with the breath, constantly changing, constantly arising and passing away. And with this gathered mind, slowly and gently expanding the field of awareness to include the whole body. Becoming aware of the experience of this body, breathing in and breathing out, and observing any kind of sensation in any part of the body that may be present right now. Perhaps just doing a quick body scan, choosing to release any unnecessary tension, observing the feet touching the floor, the ankles and the lower legs, just acknowledging any sensation that is present in this part of the body. Observing the knees and the upper legs, perhaps sensations of pressure or sensations of contact with the clothes. Any kind of sensation. We are not looking for any particular sensation, we are just observing and exploring any sensation that is already present. Observing sensations in the pelvic area, the lower back, and expanding the field of awareness to observe the posture of the spine. Observing sensations in the front part of the torso, perhaps the sensations of expansion and contraction, of contraction and expansion in the abdomen, in the chest, that arise with the breath. Can I feel my heart beating? Can I feel the movement of my lungs as I breathe in and breathe out? Then expanding the awareness to the sensations in the shoulders and the neck, choosing to release any unnecessary tension. We are not pushing away the tension, we are just letting that go. Observing the posture of the arms and the hands. Can I feel my fingers? And directing the attention to the back of the head, the top of the head, and the forehead. And observing sensations in the entire face, the eyes, the nose, the lips, releasing any tension that is present in this area. And from the top of the head to the tip of the toes, from the tip of the toes to the top of the head, just expanding the field of awareness to include the whole body. Observing any kind of sensation present in any part of the body. Acknowledging that, observing that, just exploring the experience. And if there is any sensation calling for the attention, just choosing to direct the awareness to that part of the body. Perhaps exploring the qualities of the sensation, the location of the sensation, the kind of sensation, perhaps tingling, pulsating, throbbing sensation, or warm or cold sensation. Exploring the intensity of the sensation, just with curiosity, observing and exploring. As best we can, just being with this experience, creating some space for this experience to manifest, just allowing that to be there. Just noticing how sensations sometimes stay just for a short while, and how other times they linger. Just noticing how they change in intensity. They arise and they pass away. Just like the breath, they have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Just becoming aware of the totality of the experience of this body, breathing in and breathing out, observing the sensations of the breath anchoring this practice. And with this gathered mind, now directing the attention to the sense of hearing, paying attention to the sounds inside and outside the room. We are not seeking for any kind of sound, rather we are just receiving whatever is available. Perhaps from within the body, or maybe from the environment, near and far. Just becoming particularly aware of hearing. Just noticing how the awareness receives sounds without any effort. Observing the qualities of the sounds. Becoming aware of how sounds have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Observing the intensity of the sounds, the length of the sounds, the spaces in between the sounds. And perhaps noticing how the mind labels the sounds. The mind has opinions about the sounds that we hear, likes and dislikes. Just noticing any desire to move away from some sounds and perhaps to move towards others. As best we can, just making a space in which sounds can be experienced just as they are. And now slowly and gently gathering the attention in the sensations of the breath. And with this gathered mind, now moving on and directing the attention to the realm of thoughts. Observing the thoughts not as distractions, but rather just bringing our awareness to the thinking process itself. Recognizing the content of the thoughts, the pattern of the thoughts, our reactions to the thoughts. And perhaps just exploring the possibility of observing the thoughts as creations of the mind. Not trying to push them away, but just observing them, as if they were clouds in the sky of awareness, just passing by. Or perhaps picturing the thoughts as projections of the mind on the screen of awareness. We are not the main actors. We are not the directors. We are just observing the thoughts. Just practicing looking at the thoughts, not from the thoughts. Observing how they also have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Just as the breath, just as the body sensations. Perhaps observing the ever-changing flow of the experience of thoughts, arising and passing away, arising and passing away. Perhaps noticing the thoughts about the past or about the future, and perhaps just stepping back and labeling, thinking, planning, worrying. Just becoming aware of the thoughts as a separate element that comes and goes. And slowly and gently just noticing any tendency of the mind to push away some thoughts or to become attached and seduced by other thoughts. And slowly and gently dropping down out of the mind into the body, observing whether there is any echo from the thoughts in the form of body sensations. What am I feeling right now? And if the mind is wandering away, just acknowledging that and bringing back the mind into the sensations of the body that arise with the breath. And with a gathered mind, slowly and gently directing the attention to any emotion, any mood, any state of the mind that is present at this moment. Perhaps there is patience, perhaps impatience, perhaps tranquility, perhaps restlessness, perhaps sleepiness or wakefulness, just acknowledging any kind of emotion, any kind of mental state present at this moment. What am I aware of right now? Can I just be with this experience just for a few more moments? to the best we can, just allowing this experience to manifest in the body, giving some space. Making ourselves available to any experience that is present in the body. And just choosing to welcome that, to allow that to be. And then just noticing whether there is any tendency to push away or to cling into any of these experiences. Observing any kind of aversion or attachment to the experience. And acknowledging that this is the natural reaction of the mind. Becoming familiar with these tendencies of the mind. Simply noticing what is here, just holding the intention not to judge, to push away, or to control anything we find. Just allowing it to be here. And perhaps just labeling the emotion. Sadness is here, joy is here, anger is arising. Simply acknowledging the emotion and then dropping back into the body. Just taking the awareness to any felt sense or feeling of the emotion in the body. And then just allowing the breath to soften, to soothe, just to hold the experience on awareness. And perhaps just noticing how the emotion have also a beginning, a middle, and an end. They arise and they pass away. Just observing this experience. And then slowly and gently directing the attention and the awareness to the sensations of the breath in the body. Becoming aware of the totality of the experience of this body, breathing in and breathing out. Grounding this experience in these sensations, and then expanding the field of awareness to the space in the room, to the sounds inside the room and outside the room. And before we close this practice, just becoming aware of any part of the body which may be calling for our attention. Just acknowledging the sensations and becoming aware of any part that feels like moving or stretching. And before moving, before stretching, just observing this experience of wanting to move or wanting to stretch. and when you're ready, choosing to move or to stretch in any way that feels right for you, and softly opening the eyes. This practice is complete.